Hi there, Mark Russick's my name, and I'm the founder and director of Iconic Colours Nova Gallery in the Melbourne CBD. And today I want to share to you about how I'd love to do a commissioned artwork for you. And I'll start by just sharing the process. Okay, so it always starts with asking, what do you need? Asking me. So here's an example of a Swiss person who ordered a painting from me. They actually lived right next to Lake Geneva in Switzerland, and they just gave me this photo, right? Can you do this, Mark? And this simple picture, black and white photo of what they love, bikes. Okay, so bikes, biking, and they insisted, I want movement, Mark. I really want to see the thing moving. So there were some of the things that I had, but that was it. It's pretty simple. Hey, a little bit daunting. Anyway, I had this idea of painting it from above the city where he lived as the bike's sort of going up. Anyway, this is what I got. You like that? And so it actually became the centerpiece for his very large and elaborate collection, and he said have had people coming from all over Europe and singing praises, just loving the work. So I'm really happy to share that. And but you got to understand, this is where it started. Yeah, just with that simple photo.
One of my favourite views of
an
Melbourne.
idea, and then I got this. So with yourself,
Melbourne.
if you order a painting through me, begin by asking. It's ABCs, as simple as ABC. So ask me about, the color, the mood, the subject, the different details that you want to have in your painting. And then I'll give you a blueprint, I'll give you a sketch showing you roughly what I'm looking at producing for you. So it won't be a complete surprise. You could adjust something minor on that sketch afterwards. And lastly, confirm that we're going ahead by putting down a 50% deposit, and we know the size, we know the media that I'm going to use. I love using thick impasto oil paint. Impasto, in other words, very thick, a bit like butter on toast, very thick. I love that, and I love the toast as well. And so, roughly, you're probably thinking about price. What am I looking at? Well, between 2,000 and 3,000 for a painting that's probably around this size. I just finished this one. You like that? That's around 90 by 60 centimeters, almost a meter, and it's a thick impasto oil painting. And so that's the size that I'm talking about, and you're looking at around 2 to 3K. Why is that? The variance, because of the complexity. It depends on how hard it is to do. So basically, I do anything from portraits to landscapes to still life, whatever you have in mind. Give me a call today. Love to hear from you, and so that's the sort of thing I'm wanting to do. You can email me as well. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, it's as easy as ABC to commission me. Thanks for watching. Hi Amy. Could you tell me why you like this painting?
It's just very evocative. I love the colours, the movement. It's got some of my favourite things in Melbourne, which is nature, and the MCG, which is like my second home for half the year. And I just love the fact that there's so much going on, and it's just really drew me in, and I couldn't say no.
You couldn't say no.
I had to buy it. I tried to say no, but then my heart said, nope, sorry, but
I'm sorry.
I'll go home with this piece. So
yeah, my favourite is the very hard to buy buyers. The ones that normally don't buy art?
Yeah.
They're the ones that
Well,
come along.
I am glad that I went this way home tonight and acquired another of your pieces. I'm very happy about that. You're a very talented
Thank you, Amy. Hey, and a real privilege to have you by, and I hope you enjoy it immensely on your
I'm
wall.
gonna love it. It's gonna find a great place on my wall, and I'll look at it every day and think how lucky I am to live in Melbourne. So
Wonderful. Thank you. Tell me why you like it. Why?
Because that space and this way. I like the difference between this part and this one. And then I love yellow color. And then like different people.
What about the style? Why do you like the style?
I love this thing. I don't know how
The thick strokes.
thick stroke, yes.
Yes.
And then
yes.
I can feel like a Melbourne. Yes, that's place. Memory of Melbourne.
Beautiful. And where are you from?
Japan.
Lovely. We love Japan. We love Japan. Arigato.
Arigato. Thank you.
I hope you like this painting. Let me explain the meaning of it. So it's really about, besides it looking like North Melbourne, it's also about finding your life purpose, right? And so if you look at this lady here in the black, right, she's in transit and she's walking in the dark. Maybe you've been walking in the dark. See the way it's light here and dark there? Maybe you're walking in the dark and you're kind of not entirely happy with your life purpose. You're just not really sure where you're going in life. And it's like something needs to change. You're not entirely fulfilled. And so this is what the person in black is talking about. So that's why you can see a picture of a tram. A tram is going somewhere. So that's the next stage. You know, you realise you really want to be going somewhere with your life. See the tracks of the tram? It's like the tram has a predictable pathway and like a plan. And if that's missing, you're going to need that. So then you're going to feel a lot more fulfilled. When you know what you're aiming for, you know where you're going. And so the question is, how do we feel, not just a sense of fulfillment, contentment, but something with great depth? And that's what the broader picture is all about. Actually, the top half of the painting, right, up there, those clouds, those stars, you've actually got the sun, the moon, and 11 stars. And so I want to say to you that my experience has been to go deeper in your life purpose. It's you got to look above. That's why the tram conductor is pointing upwards. See that? See the way he's pointing upwards? The true solution to finding a depth of life purpose and meaning is a spiritual thing, because I believe we're spiritual beings on the inside. And so my experience has been, I got on the tram. And see the way that gal is dressed in white? I found forgiveness in Christ. I became a Christian. And I realised, if you look at the sun, the moon, the stars up above, Genesis 37, for example, highlights a vision that a character called Joseph had, where as a young man he saw the sun, the moon, and the stars bowing down to himself. He was 17, and when he turned 33, the sun, the moon, and stars bowed down. In other words, his father and brothers came, and he was actually the governor in a foreign country. God fulfilled the plan for Joseph in his life, as you read Genesis 37 and you read Genesis 46 in verse 2. So it just shows how God is able to put us on the right path, and that's been my experience. And why the white? Because when you find forgiveness in God, you really experience that first-hand connection with Christ. And getting on the tram is like getting into being a part of his church. And so the tram conductor there is Christ. Right? And I painted in blue because he's a heavenly origin, and yet he's in the tram. He's the God-man. He's the bridge between earth and heaven. And so there's Christ again, right there. See the way I've drawn him on the tram arm? There's a picture of the cross right there. And so in my life, see that? That's the cross. And Jesus talks about taking up your cross and following him. And so Jesus knew he was going to the cross, and he died at the cross. But the purpose of the cross was to bring righteousness to humanity, clothe us with his righteousness. He paid for sin in full, died for us, and then he rose again. And so that's why the painting is like a new day beginning. Christ rose. There's a new day for you. And God has actually mapped out the tracks. He's mapped out a plan for our lives. It's so exciting. But we need to come onto the tram. We need to be a part of what God's plan is. And God's plan is church. It's his kingdom. It's where he reigns. And in the church, it's a place of warmth and love, And I've been a Christian now for almost 40 years, getting close to 40 years. And that's been my journey. It's beautiful to be with people that love God and know them. Because when you know God and the cross is working in your life, it strips away all the selfishness, all the baggage, the wounding. When we're wounded emotionally, we hide stuff. And we're like these two people here. See that? They're kind of standing on the outside, looking on. Will I or won't I get on board like this girl? See, she's in white. She's forgiven. And that's like me. I got on the tram. And so maybe you're like these two here. You're kind of wondering, could it be true that God sent his son and to die for us? John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his one and only son, that all who believe in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." And so I see this girl, she's getting on the tram. That's like me. I did that many years ago. And I was always like this in the past. I was not really interested in Christianity or God, or not searching, but I was probably a lot more like this person, just sort of, just walking along and doing my own thing. But, heaven began to call, and that's when I realised it was his time. See the way the clock's ticking there? There's a time when God begins to call. I'd met many Christians in my life, but I'd never really made any consent or showed interest. But there was a time when it was just overwhelming. I knew that I was meeting people that were Christian. It was just like a setup. I knew that God was real. And since then I've been hearing his voice, and it's been amazing. So I want to encourage you, if you're looking for a deeper life direction and purpose, you want to get free. Before as a Christian I had so much baggage, and Jesus sets you free. He says you'll know the truth, and the truth will set you free. And see the green in the tram? It says in Psalm 23, he leads us to lie down in green pastures. He restores our soul. And so I just got restored. There's a lot of hurt in my life and stuff and baggage from the past. Came from a broken home, and God really healed me. Just amazing. And so I really want to encourage you. Maybe God's drawing you. See the light reflecting there? There's a lot of light in this painting. God draws with the light. The light also exposes. It's hard to come to Christ, and it's easy at the same time. It's easy because you know He loves you. The hard part is being able to say, I'm sinned, and I've done wrong. But the good news is Jesus clothes you. He gives us, this garment of white. Revelations in the Bible talks about being clothed in white with the righteous deeds of the saints, but also it speaks of the righteousness of God that vindicates us. And so there you are. There's Jesus. He's pointing up, and there's the cross. Will you come to it? Is it time? I tell you, if you can answer those questions and you seek God, start praying to Him, and I tell you what, you'll find that God can do such a number in your life, change it, transform it, so you're really happy, and there's a real sense of destiny. To be an artist with what I'm doing, there's been a massive change in my life where I used to paint black, and now look at all this colour. It's coming out of a joy of knowing God and knowing my life purpose. So I hope that really blesses you and speaks to you. And I hope you can see that this painting is more than just a painting, but it's an expression of the deep, transformative work that comes from my heart. So God bless you. Thanks for listening, and bye for now. Hi there. I just want to give several reasons why you should consider buying my art. Number one, if you love Melbourne, you'll love my art. Because I got a lot of Melbourne in this booth of mine here at 156 Elizabeth Street. Number two, I love colour, right? I just love colour. So everybody that buys the stuff, my art, says it's so colourful. Just number three, people often say that the colour lifts the mood, their own mood, so it has an ability to really help people feel better. That's a fact. I've been selling my art for well over 20 years, and people talk about the mood shifting ability of art. And lastly, I want to say that I've had a good reputation overall selling my stuff in the Melbourne Museum, for example, for about 4 years, and do live painting in the exhibition building. I'm also an ambassador for a paint company. Anyway, there's a few reasons to consider buying my art. Come over to the cinema. Let's talk. Bye. The question is, what are people saying about the art? Why do they like it? Why do people buy it? So let me just show you what people have been saying. So if you look at my book here, my iconic Melbourne book, this is consistently the kind of feedback I get from people who buy. Right? Amazing colour and concept, makes Melbourne come alive. If someone bought that from Melbourne. Here's someone from Taiwan. Comfort, colourful, feeling of joy. Amazing colours, brilliant memories to take home to the United Kingdom. So this was a long time ago when I got that comment. I just sold something to someone from the UK today, and they pretty much said the same thing. Someone bought recently and said the same thing here, this German person. I think the pictures are astoundingly beautiful. They will make a perfect present for my family and friends. Germany. A lot of people talk about how refreshing the art is. Vienna, so very different, refreshing. I like this one from Spain. The form of these paintings is breathtaking. A lot of people share about the way the paintings affect mood. I love the vibrant colours. They evoke a sort of calm happiness. Beautiful. Canada.